Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you how to import the sermon and get it all prepped for Sunday morning. So I'm just going to start by going to the AV email, and here's Blake's sermon notes. So we're just going to open it. I guess we're going to download it. Oh, we're downloading it twice. Okay. And now we're going to open it. Choose a library to import into. That is correct. Presentations. You do want to check those. Sometimes it defaults to songs, so just make sure it's going into the presentations library. There you go. So here's our file, dated with the date 9/27/20. So I usually just kind of start by, we're going to edit. I thought it would let me right click on it, didn't. All right, and we'll just start getting ready. So any blank slide with the double click to edit box on it, just go ahead and select it and delete it. It'll just help avoid any confusion. Photos generally are okay. You shouldn't have to do anything. They do kind of automatically import now, which is nice. We used to have to do those separately. I'm going to delete that. Okay. So here's a scripture slide. Fortunately, this is a really short one. Sometimes they're not, and it's a bit of a pain. So I'm going to select it, and I'm going to highlight, if it'll let me, Ephesians 6:4. And I'm actually just going to Command X. Basically, I want to cut it and remove it. And then I'm going to come to the plus sign here and add a text box. Double click there and Command V, or paste in my scripture reference, and I can see I've got some extra space there, so I'm actually just going to backspace and delete that. All right, so everything's there, but it looks crazy. So just click off somewhere and Command A, or select everything. And then I'm going to apply a theme. So up here in my themes menu, I'm coming to sermon, and I want the scripture theme. So here it is, all nice and pretty. Now I am going to click in here and remove the verse numbers. We don't want that. So this one was pretty easy because it's a single verse. Sometimes you have a lot of verses and you have to break it up into multiple slides. And we'll see if we come across one of those while we're doing this. Okay, so here's one of the points. So this is pretty simple too. It's just going to select the whole thing, come apply the correct theme, sermon, large title. These are all set up for us, so it's all pretty easy. There we go. I'm just going to continue through, deleting my blank stuff. We'll do this one more time so you can see. Command X to remove it, and I can see I have an extra space here, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that too. And I'm going to get my text box, and I'm going to Command V. I got my extra space. I'm going to go ahead and back that up. It just makes it easier when you format everything. So I click off somewhere and Command A, or select everything. And again, theme, sermon, scripture. Makes it all nice and pretty. And then again, removing the scripture, the verse numbers as well. Oh, this one's, yeah, man, you guys lucked out. This one's easy. The scripture is short. Your biggest issue is going to come in when you have just many verses of scripture and you have to break it up into multiple slides. The biggest help for you then is if it's on multiple slides already, go ahead and format each of those multiple slides like this. Even though they're going to be too big with way too much stuff on them, go ahead and do it. And then you can break it up as you need to. If you do this neat little thing here, we'll pretend this was an old one. If I hit Option, click where I want to break it, hit Option and Enter, and it will create for me, I messed up, I hit it twice, but it'll create for me a new slide with the scripture reference on it still, and that bit of scripture that I pushed down onto the next slide. So that's Option, Enter, and it'll keep your formatting, keep your scripture reference, and push everything down onto another slide. Sometimes though you do have to finagle, you have to do a little cutting and pasting to make everything fit on. Remember, this is going up on the big screen as well as on the live stream. So on the big screen, we are trying to keep everything up there visible. So we don't do more than like maybe 6, maybe 7 lines if you have to, if it's just too awkward to break it at 6. So just be aware of that. You don't want it to make it too big. So this is a little wonky, but I'll go ahead and just finish out showing you everything. Okay, so I've already come down to our sermon series folder here in media. So I'm just going to pull in the parts. We are actually using the what if environmental on the wall. So I'm not going to use the what if title slide. It's a little redundant, looks a little funky, so we won't do that. So instead, I'm just going to pull up my blank, and that will be my background behind everything. And actually, I probably will come and resize these pictures a bit because they're just a little large. We'll just go ahead and do it from here. And then I can kind of move it up. When I get the yellow lines, it shows me, see that I've got it centered. So I would probably do that for the additional images as well, just to make it look a little nicer. But so I've got my background on there. Now what I need to do is go add all the things that will make this look right. So I'm going to add my actions, and I'm always going to add a clear prop so that it removes anything that might be on there that shouldn't be on there anymore. My audience look, we are actually doing full screen for this one. That's what you do on the sermons, full screen. And then we're going to also add a stage look. Remember, this is what it shows on the confidence monitor, the screen behind the booth. And I want it to look just like the songs do so that you can see, Blake can see what he's on and what's coming next. So it's current and next. And then that is done. I'm not sure, yeah, I can't see it here the way that it will look on stage, but everything is set now. So I would just continue out the rest of this sermon, getting everything straightened out. I got to go back and fix the scripture that I messed up, but that's pretty much it. And I'll remove this last double click to edit. So that's basically how you get it all ready. And then the last thing, of course, is I want to actually move it in. So I'm going to come find my sermon spot, which is right there. And I'll come back to my presentations, and here it is. I am going to drag it over. Last thing, and of course, I would sync up to make sure that it's all saved before I close out. All right, so that's getting the sermon ready. You guys looked out. That was an easy one. The biggest thing, remember, is going to be the scripture. Sometimes it's really long, and you just have to be patient and figure out where to break it, move it onto the appropriate number of slides, and just make it look good that way. All right, thanks so much.